Picture this. You're in your local pharmacy and you're there for toothpaste. However, a newly advertised viral face wash is on display. You already have a face wash at home that is a trusted companion of yours and has been for years. But you've heard so many great things about this new one, you have to buy it. 3 months later, that face wash is still sitting in your vanity drawer with only a quarter of it utilized. Hello, everyone. My name is Moonpeach, and today I'm going to be discussing with you all about the wants versus needs debate. This is an item I also struggle with, so hopefully by the end of the video, we both feel more confident in being able to distinguish the two and find a good balance of both in our lives. So, let's start with the basic definitions. Needs are essentials that keep you safe, healthy, and able to live day to day. Food, housing, utilities, basic clothing, transportation. They're the foundation. You simply can't live without these items. On the other hand, wants are the extras. They make life enjoyable, but you can survive without them. Think your streaming subscriptions, eating out, designer clothes, concert tickets, or even the newest gadget. These are the items you want to discuss with your friends, or maybe you want to brag about. Those are your wants. Simple enough, right? Wants and needs can blend into one feeling, and that is the hard part about them. Think about that daily coffee run you went on because you felt like you needed it. Does that mean you can't go for a coffee run one day because you want something extra? Absolutely not. I'm just making the point that it can become very hard for you to really distinguish between your wants and needs. So, why is it so hard to distinguish between the two feelings? Psychologically, our brains release dopamine when we anticipate a purchase, so a want can feel as if it is a need in that moment. The key word is moment. If a want, such as having 3 subscriptions at once, becomes a habit, it can also start feeling more like a daily essential item. You get used to it, it's part of your routine. And it also doesn't help that social media and marketing has made any item seem like a need in order for them to raise their revenues. For example, if you see your favorite influencer advertising a pink Swiffer and they're emphasizing how cute and useful the Swiffer is, wouldn't you get more of an urge to buy it, even if you already have a perfectly working green Swiffer at home? It has become harder to distinguish between the two because you're fighting against millions of companies actively trying to push their products on you every time you open an app or a website. So please don't feel too upset about this. We've all been there. I'm thinking of you, Snail Musin. That was my want that became a regrettable purchase because I do not use it. There's another aspect to this that has probably been around since humans were created. You want what your peers have. I'll never forget in middle school when I wanted to have Instagram so badly because that's what the status quo was for my grade. If you wanted to be popular, you had to have Instagram. I had a wonderful friend group and I was having fun playing my sport and watching anime, and yet I still felt like my life wouldn't be complete until I had that app. By the way, my parents kept me off of it until high school, and for that, I am extremely grateful to them. But in that moment, I never knew in the future that not having Instagram would be beneficial towards me or something I didn't really need, because in that moment, it felt like life or death. The final point I wanted to bring up on why it is so hard to distinguish between the two is stress can really tip the balance over. I know when I'm stressed, I look for takeout food I don't need because I have groceries at home, but it just feels like it would be more convenient. Or I look into my favorite stores' websites to buy clothes I don't really need because my wardrobe is already full. And let's be honest with ourselves. It is a hard thing to struggle with, and we're not perfect. But guess what? That's perfectly okay. We don't need to be perfect. That's not what human nature is about. So to wrap up this video, I'll share some tips I've utilized myself. One is prioritizing certain wants. I could buy the newest UGG slippers, but I also want to subscribe to a streaming service with my new favorite show. What I like to do is weigh both of these choices in my heads. What are the pros and cons of each? And what kind of weightage are those pros and cons? With that in mind, I choose which one has the better pros versus cons and what would be more urgent for me. That doesn't mean that in 2 months' time, I might, if I choose the subscription over the Uggs right now, that I won't purchase the Uggs. It just means in that moment and during that month, I don't necessarily need those slippers. Another one that I know is very popular and I also utilize is the 24-hour rule. This one is simple and effective. You just put something in your bag and come back to it in 24 hours, and if you still want it, you can buy it. Distinguishing between needs and wants isn't about depriving yourself, it's about gaining control. When you know the difference, you can cover your essentials with confidence and still enjoy your extras without guilt. Because at the end of the day, managing your money well isn't about saying no to everything you want. It's about saying yes with intention. Thank you for watching. I hope this was very helpful.